Well, here we are trying to get some stragglers through a gate, but they don't want to go. I guess it's the jive turkeys in the gate. Once we get them in, we'll be that much closer to getting more of the calves weaned and eventually getting these cows caught up with the rest of the herd, and we're done. Good morning. Well, we're making our first move with the cattle after we pulled the calves off, at least the bulk of the calves. And we got what looks like a slight frost last night. So it's fairly cold this morning. Temperatures said 38, 39 maybe, but in these bottoms where we are, a lot of times it'll get a lot cooler. So I'm guessing that our plum thickets and our wild plum trees probably got hit. I don't know how Lisa's stuff in the greenhouse that she has in there anyway, which would be her apple trees, were starting to leaf out. So I don't know how they are yet, but anyway, we're getting the cows moved on by, and then we'll be able to do a little bit more with our weaners or our yearlings. And so that's what we're out doing this morning. The wind finally died down. It's been blowing, 15 to 30. I think one of these days it was 22 sustained miles per hour. So it's been blowing quite a bit. It's been kind of miserable. The heat will take it out of you, but to me, there's nothing like the wind. And that's if it's cold or hot. It just beats you up and wears you down. By the end of the day, you're just wore out. So it's always nice when the wind kind of slows down. And we're fortunate to kind of be have some low spots down here and some valleys and things where we're kind of protected from a lot of the wind. But I tell you, when it's blowing like that, I don't know that you're protected anywhere. So it's nice. It's a beautiful morning. Well, I'm over here in a different part of the ranch, gathering up the stragglers, cows, to move them out. And it looks like maybe the freeze did not get everything, or at least the hard frost, because I'm seeing some Mexican plums. See the white flowers, that's what we call those. That's good. They make a real tart fruit, and it's great for jelly. They're really no good to eat. They're really bitter, but it makes a great jelly. And because they're so bitter, it makes it where the deer and everything really don't bother them. So it's just a real good fruit to have. Okay, this is maybe a week after weaning the calves. And you can see that the condition on the cows is already picking up tremendously. You're going to still have some older cows that it's going to be a little more difficult for them to pick up and recover. But the beauty of calving in June is when we're supposed to be calving. We've got some heifers that got bred late, and so that's kind of what you're seeing with the little babies. But the beauty of calving in June is you want to have your cows in a body condition score of 5 or 6, and really 6 is better at time of calving. And there's lots of data, research, university stuff, which I don't normally pay a lot of attention to university stuff, but there is data supporting that and how critical it is to have them in a body condition score of, say, 6 at time of calving in order for the majority of them to cycle and be ready to rebreed 85 days after they calve. It's critical. It's the type of fat that they need in their system to repair their bodies after they have a calf. You can't feed it into them. So they've got to have it already on their body when they calve. So that's part of the reason, and one of the main reasons, that we calve in June. Because once we're utilizing the way nature works and being in sync with nature and allowing the cows to back up a little bit in condition over the winter, which is very normal. If you watch wildlife and things like that, it's very normal. So our goal is to get them in that condition by the time we calve in June. That means we've got half of March, all of April, all of May, and the first part of June. We try to calve around June 12th. So we've got 90 days of some of the best grazing in our country to put condition on a cow with no calf on them. Now, anybody that's in the cattle business knows that if you've got decent grass, that's not that difficult to do. They should jump multiple body scores in 90 days. And really in 45 days they ought to jump 1.5, 2 body scores. I think I've seen data on that before. But it's one of those things that you're working in sync with nature, and it makes it a lot easier and a lot less expensive to do on your cost with cattle. So that's why we do it. You can see that they're starting to pick back up. By the time we get to May, they should be real fleshy and in the proper body condition to calve. Well, we're on the third move. I think they're coming. just to kind of give you a quick summary, what we've done is we've moved our cows several times to get them to the point where we can take them over the ridge. And once we get them over the ridge, they'll have a lot better opportunity to gain condition. They perform better over here. The feed is stronger. The soil is tighter, so it's got a little more power. So that's what we're after. We're trying to, there again, we're chasing that body condition score of 5 to 6 by the time they calve, which is mid-June. And so we're watching those types of things as we make moves, and we plan for that. So we've got them over here, and we're ready to start moving through this side.